Things that I wish I knew before immigrating to the US. What's going on, guys? My name is Mike. I immigrated to the US when I was 13 years old. That's 11 years ago, back in 2013. I went to high school here, went to college here. Now I live here. I came here on a student visa and now I'm a green card holder. And today we're gonna talk about all the things that I wish I knew when I first moved here, because I think it would have made my experience a little bit easier. Number one, the most important thing when you move here is communication. So the sooner you learn English and the more you put yourself out there, the better your experience will be while living here. I remember one of the biggest problems that I had was that my English wasn't the best when I first moved here, but I really made an effort after a little bit of being lonely, honestly, to put myself out there, to make it a point to improve my English by watching a lot of movies, communicating with different students in school, or watching YouTube videos, just any way that would improve my English. So the sooner you put yourself out there, the better off you're gonna be. And of course, if you are moving here and already have a pretty good understanding of English and know the basics, you're gonna have a much easier experience right off the bat. And this brings me to my second point. When you first move here, you're gonna realize that people speak a lot faster than you're used to. And understanding slangs and the way people talk is a challenge when you first move here. But again, the sooner you put yourself out there, start communicating, the more you're gonna learn and the easier your experience will be ultimately. Number three, depending on how old you are when you're planning on moving here, you need to get your driver's license as fast as possible. One of the biggest things that I noticed when I first moved here is that people don't really use public transportation, and the houses and the grocery stores are miles and kilometers apart. So you need a car to really get around. Walking may not be the best option, or taking a bike or taking a bus or taxi may not be the best option, and it might be cheaper actually to own a car. For example, you can lease a car for a few $100s a month, whereas if you took a taxi, or what they call here Ubers, it might cost you $40 or $50 for just one trip. So it might make more sense for you to lease a car right away, as opposed to getting around via taxis or Ubers or whatnot. And like I said, this does depend on where you live. For example, if you live in New York or Chicago or maybe Los Angeles, you can definitely use public transportation, but in many other states that are in the US, you're better off getting a car right away. Now to the next point, groceries. There are many stores that are located in every state where they sell groceries and all kinds of stuff. Some of the most popular grocery stores that are available in every state pretty much are Walmart, Target, Whole Foods, Trader Joe's. And I'm sure I'm missing a few of them, but these are the main ones. Walmart is definitely the biggest one, where you can actually shop for clothes, shop for groceries, shop for pretty much everything. The other option is Target. Target is also a well-known grocery store that's located everywhere in the country. They do have a variety of food, but they have a lot of other items as well. Mainly things like clothing items, school supplies, things of that nature. And they do have a higher quality of stuff usually than Walmart. And lastly, for those of you who are very health conscious, Whole Foods and Trader Joe's are also stores that are a little bit more on the expensive side, but they do have organic stuff, vegan stuff, a lot of the healthy stuff that somebody may be looking for. Item number 6, I think I might have forgotten it, but I think it's item number 6. You need to realize that depending on what state you immigrate to, your cost of living may be a lot higher than other states. For example, there are cities that are called Tier 1 cities in the US, and those cities are like New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Boston, where the cost of living is pretty high. You're gonna spend a lot of money on rent, you're gonna spend a lot of money on grocery stores, on gas, and all kinds of stuff. And there are Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities that are definitely a lot cheaper and more affordable. Those cities are usually in the Midwest and North of America. So states like Missouri, Kansas, Alabama are gonna be a lot more affordable and cheaper. But of course, they're not gonna be as fun as cities such as New York or Miami, Florida, or LA, but you should definitely consider that before moving and deciding where to live. Next item. People in the US love their food, and unfortunately there is an abundance of unhealthy food. It is difficult to stay healthy and not gain weight when you're in the US. I actually gained a lot of weight when I first came to the US because I was in heaven, so many unhealthy snacks and chips, cookies and ice cream and chocolate, but it is important that you maintain a healthy body. And the reason for that is because healthcare in the US is extremely expensive. Everybody in the US should have health insurance, because otherwise, if God forbid you get into an accident or something, it is going to be extremely expensive to get the most basic stuff done, like X-ray or MRI. It is extremely expensive, and if you don't have insurance, you're going to be paying out of pocket and you're going to be paying a lot of money. So definitely when you first come here, make sure you have health insurance, and make sure you also get car insurance if you do get a car. Number 8, you're going to meet and see people that are completely different from one another, and that's the beauty of the United States. The US is the melting pot of the world, and that is literally why the US has become one of the greatest countries to live in. And so if you do run into people that are different than you, embrace it, meet them and appreciate them, and try to learn from them and make relationships. Try to become friends with as many people as possible, especially because when you first come to the US, you may not know anybody, so it's important for you to meet people. So be friendly to as many people as possible and accept them for who they are. And this brings me to my last point. Be yourself and be true to yourself and own who you are to the max. And the reason I say this is because when I first moved here, I shied away from telling people where I was from, or I didn't feel very comfortable in my own skin. And I regret that now, and I wish I wasn't that way. It is easy for anyone to come to the US and have the same experience. But I promise you, the faster you become comfortable in your own skin and accept who you are and really own it, the more confident you're going to appear, and the more people are going to be attracted to you and want to learn more about you and where you've come from. So be proud of where you've come from, be proud of your journey, and I promise you your experience is going to be excellent in the US. That's it for this video. I hope you guys found this video helpful. Give me a like, give me a follow. I'll be doing a part 2, and if you have any questions, comment down below and I'll try to respond to all of them. Thank you and peace.